What's up guys, I'm Shernfire. I've been a professional player since season 5 and I've been to MSI and Worlds multiple times.
The new champions here in Oceania as Direwolves will represent the OPL at MSI 2017.
While also climbing to top 10 Korea multiple times and hitting rank 1 NA and OS multiple times. My goal is to help people reach their rank goals and ultimately breed an army of high elo junglers. I'm going to be breaking down Pyosik's performance against Canyon, one of the best jungle performances I've seen at a very high level, with two very good teams. Obviously both very good junglers, but overall the two teams at the top of their game right now. And we're going to see how Canyon was basically gapped by Pyosik because of jungle sequencing, just better understand where he wants to be on the map, and mechanics as well. You gotta add mechanics, and I'm gonna be honest, just amazing mechanics. So, first things first to note, both junglers are starting Raptors. It's Lee Sin vs Xin Zhao. As you can see, the bot lane matchup, the top lane matchup, and the mid lane matchup. Mid's AFK until Azir hits 6, then Xin Zhao can look 6. Top, Udyr is gonna either invade Lee Sin or he's gonna proxy, because of Kasante's very weak early game, and bot lane is scaling as well. Lucian, Milio should be able to bully Senna Norless unless some ganks happen. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. So Pyosik knows that the only angle for him to win this early game is through bot side. And so he decides to flip it. I say flip it because when you do Raptors to blue, you have to actually be able to beat the enemy jungler 1v1. But Xin Zhao, if Canyon had this warded and actually came Raptors to blue as well, he would actually beat him really bad with lethal tempo and whatever ability. Well, you could even go EW and beat him. Xin Zhao doesn't even need EQ to beat Lee Sin 1v1, so gets away with it. And this is going to play a huge part into the next sequence. And so he does 2 camps here in his jungle, gets 3. Enemy feels very scared because he could actually just do 3 camps and come here. They don't realize he's behind. Lehens actually makes a mistake. Instead of warding, he should have just tried to he should have just tried to 2v3 in the wave because they're actually quite strong. But he decides against it, and they end up dying for it. So really good executed gank, waiting for the level 2 on the Norless and Senna. As you can see, he finishes his clear, and once he finishes his clear, he's gonna do Scuttle and Recall. So he knows by now Xin Zhao has taken his topside without a doubt. He hasn't shown it all. So he does the smart thing and goes back to Raptors. And here's where the camp sequencing starts, right? So he's going to auto path to the Gromp. He has a pushing wave in here. And Lucian is coming out of base. So he has some free time here. The enemy jungler can't walk. Enemy bot lane can't really walk in the jungle and check. It's very dangerous. So they decide to just let them probably trade Dragon. But they don't know this. So the thing about this situation is a lot of high-level junglers would just do Dragon when they know that the enemy jungler is taking grobs. But here Pyosik has learnt from his NA jungle full clearing days that you have to take camps when you can take the camps. So he knows here that Xin Zhao started grobs at 5 and he got to the gromp before 5. So he is way ahead of tempo. So he does the smart thing and decides, hey, you're on grobs, but I've already done gromp halfway through, so I'm going to finish the gromp and do the bulls and then do the dragon, which not a lot of junglers would do, especially Asian junglers. And so he's actually going to benefit a lot from this. He gets the 2 camps and does the dragon. Why? 1, because he gets the camps. 2, because Xin Zhao can no longer play bot side. If he plays bot side, he's got nothing to do. As you can see here, both camps are gone. He feels like he's got no job to do. So he's just sitting around He wants to play bot side somehow. They got the lucky kill. They kind of ruined Pyrosik's sequence, but whatever. And he's actually able to get the scuttle, but if he wasn't able to get the free kill there, he would probably be lost without any job to do. So we see here, he does the goms. Zinza's able to actually gank mid and kill mid. Then we do the raptors, and again, look, the same sequence. So he's going to sequence again with mid dying, but mid has dying means he has tempo. Zinza is just basing as Azir is just basing as Talia is coming out. Bot lane is also low resource and needs to base, while our bot lane over here does not need to base. So he goes again, he calls for it, he clears the pink, he knows that Zinza could be coming, but he knows it's 1v3, so he's not scared. Eventually his team's gonna come, he's gonna take the blue, and the key thing to note here is he not only took the blue in front of his face, which is a lot different to normal counter jungling where he's taking your camps on the other side or his jungle and you're taking his camps, he took the camp in front of him. So Zinza invested time into trying to defend the camp and he failed. So that is a gained tempo. Along with the pink ward, as you can see in the jungle here, which is going to help the next sequence because he's going to see where the jungle is and where he is leaving to. Now he knows he's going top side, and Lee Sin decides based off that information and the fact that he wants to play bot side, he's going to cross again. So in this case, he's crossing by the fact that he's not doing drop, basically. He's not full clearing. He wants to be bot side ASAP. And he even skips red buff here because he sees Milio. He wants to defend the mid Azir ult because Talia has no flash. Then he looks, right? He looks for the Milio because she is to try to cut her off. So that's how confident he is to play bot side. He even skips his red buff, right? And so here is where he wants to just control both bushes. He clears all the wards in the bot side. As you can see, it's about to get real dark around this area. Obviously, there's some good wards here, but you can see right now, I missed the perfect. This is the world ender right here. This is just mechanics, straight up mechanics, but all the decision making that led up to all the pressure put on the bot lane, I would say led up to this mistake by Lehensia. Beautiful sidestep on the ward. Oh, it looked like he was lagging a bit, but he was really just waiting for Milio Q. And you can see here as well, beautiful patience, standing still, letting the Lucian dance, and then finishing him off with the Q. A lot of players like to dance. In between the middle of the turret because you can go left or right. But he knows that he's so scared of dying. When someone's panicking like this, right, and they don't want to die, it's the more they're gonna juke. So you can see here, he predicts he's not gonna run left, he's gonna run right, hits the Q, waits out the Q cooldown, and finishing off. Winning basically, as you can see, they're down 600 gold, but they would probably lose this game if he didn't have such good early game. Pyosik in this case. Alright guys, we're going to be going through an example game how we can copy Pyosik's path in the right scenario and just completely snowball and carry a game. So this game, it's pretty similar. We have the same Nautilus Samira all in lane versus a poke lane. A Lulu Jinx or a scaling lane, whatever you would like to call it. Now this path only works if you want to split the map. So that's very important to know. It only really makes sense if you're generally trying to split the map. If you're not, let's say I'm playing with Lulu Jinx and I'm versing Smirnos, this path doesn't make sense. So here you can see me invade. If I skip forward, you can see I do my blue, I do my Gromp. I'm versing Shaco, so he's probably started topside at this point. Save my smite in case he skips a camp and comes at me. And exact same scenario as the game with KT versus Canyon. It almost deja vu, like Nautilus flashes in, you get the kill, and I do my 2 camps exactly like how he did. Actually, I didn't. I got cheesed, and unfortunately I die. So same thing as if I was going to do the 2 camps in Scuttle and Recall. I clear my top side, I path down, and I make sure I'm on time for any sort of bot dive or play. So I skip my golems because I want to be ahead of the wave, right? You always want to be ahead of the wave rather than behind the wave. Otherwise, the wave will die to tower. So I'm ahead of the wave, making sure that we push. I want to push. You can see I'm spam pinging to push forward. You can see Shaco showed top, so that's his fatal mistake there. Looking for the top play. They spot me in my jungle, but I'm like, okay, I'll trade with them because this is fine, just because they will be low. So I'm telling them to go under town, go in. I'm gonna stack my Q here, dodge Lulu Q, and voila, have the dive. And Jinx loses 2 waves. So after this, Jinx loses 2 massive waves. The wave's going to push back. I'm going to go back bottom. We also burn Malzahar TP on top of that, which is great. Now I'm almost level 6. We're looking for the Scuttle Crab here, looking to control bot side area. And we see Jinx trying to go back to lane in a very unsafe way. So we're able to, once again, look for the kill again. And now we're taking the blue in front of them. And Jinx loses another wave. Now the wave is bouncing back. She loses even more. And while we're taking Dragon, my bot lane can 2v2 with the freeze. I'm sort of looking to help, and we're looking again because they just die so fast. Shaco tries to counter. And as you can see, the jungler is just reacting to me. Everything I do, he has to follow at this point because I've created such a huge gap from the early game pathing. Now I have my mythic at 9 minutes and we can essentially run the map. So here I'm just, enemy jungle is tilted. I'm just walking around with my support while the Samira 1v2's bot, and you can see here, the game just completely snowballs out of control when your AD carry can 1v2 bot, and you have essentially two junglers with support moving with you as well. And that would be it for this example.
Subscribe me.